Hey everyone, Michael Makrowitz with Coldwell Banker Realty, and you're getting your housing market update from the car. We are on the go. We are being productive, but we are more than halfway through the year, so I wanted to look back, assess, and whether you're buying or you're selling or you're just keeping track of your home's value or local market trends, this will hopefully be of value to you. So always a relevant stat, I think, regardless of your situation, is what are the prices doing? So starting broad, Santa Clara County as a whole, over the first half of the year, prices have increased 200,000 or 14%. The highest sale that we saw was in Palo Alto. That was a 5,600 square foot home on a 20,000 square foot lot, sold for nearly $18 million. And the other end of that was a $250,000 stab-in cabin in the mountains above Los Gatos. So it shows you the kind of range that we have within our county. But for the properties that fell smack dab in the middle, that median sales price of $1,625,000, we've got 24 different properties from single family homes to townhouses to condos. And the areas where they sold were San Jose, Campbell, Cupertino, Sunnyvale, Santa Clara, Gilroy, and Los Gatos. So the biggest bang for your buck, obviously, you got to drive to get it, but 2,200 square foot home in Gilroy on 2.5 acres. But that same price in Cupertino gets you a 2-bedroom, 2.5-bath, 1,400 square foot condo that's parked right up against Highway 85. Again, shows you the range we have within our county. And the biggest factors in terms of determining value, same as what they've been for decades. It's schools and its proximity to jobs. The first half of this year blew 2023 out of the water. First half of last year was pretty sluggish still, with people adjusting to the higher interest rates, figuring out what was happening with this market. But the first half of 2023, prices had dropped 6.6% compared to the year before in 2022, before the rates increased. This year, we have prices that are 11.7% above where they were last year and 4.3% over where they were when they peaked in 2022. So we are setting records in terms of prices this year, and that's in spite of the higher interest rates. But one kind of weird stat is the prices so far this year have peaked in April, which is a little atypical from a seasonal standpoint, because normally I would expect to see the highest sales prices in May or June. But the market definitely got pushed up more quickly in the early spring with the expectation of the Fed dropping rates later in the year. And I have started to see that within the last month. I think lenders are baking in the expectation of these rate drops, and so we're seeing mortgage interest rates drop as a result. Now, we did have some good GDP news a few weeks ago, and I had almost completed all my stats for the video that I wanted to make, and I was like, maybe the Fed will actually hold off on these rate cuts if things are looking fairly good economically. Then the job report came out. Now we have all the stock market volatility, so the expectation that those rates are coming down and that mortgage rates will be lower, I think, is much more likely now. From the articles that I've been reading about jobs, tech jobs have been getting cut, and the only area in the Bay Area that recently added jobs was in the East Bay. Now, rates have still remained relatively high this year, but it has not seemed to have impacted the home prices. Although it is important to focus on the types of property, because there's a different market depending on the type of property that you have. Single family homes are by far the standout when it comes to appreciation over the last 5 years. In that period, single family homes have gone up 54%. So townhouses 37%, condos 11%. COVID really did a number on the condo market specifically. And while the data that I have shows that condo market's still growing, that homes are increasing in value, it's, I don't know, they're still not quite back to their 2018 levels, because I've been selling a lot of condos, especially in San Jose, Campbell, and Santa Clara, and I just have not seen those prices quite climb back to where they were. And also inventory. This is something that normally plays a pretty heavy role in prices. And while we definitely have more than we did last year, we're still lagging behind where we were the last couple of years before that. But June of this year, inventory was up 49% over the same time last year, but the prices are also up 6%. And that's not something I would typically see, because I normally expect an inverse relationship between those two, just simple supply and demand, but it does not seem to be affecting the prices. Now, you have certain standout areas in terms of appreciation so far this year, and a big one is Los Gatos, 17% increase in the first half of the year compared to last year. And then you look at Blossom Valley and South San Jose, they've had a 14% increase. The areas that are lagging behind a bit, Sunnyvale has only seen 2.6% appreciation, and parts of East San Jose only 5%. And then you've got your middle of the road areas, Santa Clara, Central San Jose, Saratoga. They've seen prices increase by 10 to 11%. But comparatively speaking, 10% in San Jose, downtown San Jose, gets you a $100,000 increase. You go to Saratoga, that's a $350,000 increase. So what can we expect for the rest of the year? Likely fairly stable prices, but I think we're probably going to start to see increased competition once we get to September, October. I'm betting that prices soften through August. I'm already seeing that. But, once we get to September, October, I think there's going to be a lot more competition for the people that, employment standpoint wise, are in a position to buy. I think that's the most difficult thing about our South Bay market is that for entry-level buyers, a lot have been priced out, and even just in the last 12 to 18 months, they've been priced out of the areas where they were looking. Median sales price for a single-family home in Santa Clara County is $2 million. You've got to be making a lot of money in order to be able to afford that. And even amongst the buyers that can afford that, there is quite a bit of competition, and that's even with the higher interest rates. So I'm expecting once those rates come down, you'll likely see even more competition than what we've seen over the first half of this year. Now, in terms of days on market or how long a property takes to accept an offer, homes are selling quicker than they were last year, but I'm still sometimes surprised at how long certain properties sit on the market. It just depends on what and where they are. If it's got the location and the schools and the updates and the correct pricing, it's gone immediately. But if you start to mix and match those factors, you could be sitting on the market for over a month. So sellers, I don't think August will be a whole lot of fun. We have a lot of industry changes that are coming with the recent National Association of Realtors settlement. Video coming on that because I really want everyone to be educated and up to speed on this. But also just from a seasonal standpoint, August is generally slow with people doing last-minute vacations before school starts. But once we get to September, October, I bet that activity is really going to pick up. Buyers, August might be an easier month from a competition standpoint, but also the rates are going to be higher now than they might be in a few months. So you have to do that analysis of, do you buy now and refinance later, or do you wait for the lower rate but then potentially face more competition? So please reach out to me if you are in the planning phase and you want to talk about your personal situation. I've been having a lot more of these kinds of conversations recently, and I really love this aspect of just planning and being ready when the time comes. So until next time, happy house hunting, happy selling.